Marvel has made a collection of films that had I not been a part of these movies, had I said no to these movies, it would have been the biggest mistake of my life. I consider these movies what Star Wars was to me. All that being said, look, obviously I'm looking to do stuff beyond the role, but at the end of the day, I really look at it as a real blessing, and it was at one point in my life something that I was really apprehensive about, and in retrospect, I can say with complete confidence it was the best decision I've ever made, even if you know, just for these idiots, for the friendships I made, just for the friendships. Even if these movies sucked and, you know, my career was tanked because of Pigeonhole, just to be friends with these morons. That's
so sweet. Well said.
Right. How hard was it when you first read that scene and you're like, man, I have to basically, my best friend is in the movie is about to be dead?
Well, first of all, the scene, I don't think I ever read it, for sure. It might have been written, but I never read it. They told me about it, and we shot it, and it's very different that's in the movie now. It's a scene we reshot, because it's a much more complicated scene that's in Endgame now. There's an attack. Thanos had some ship or something, and a bunch of weird aliens were running around, and made it too complicated. So what they did is we reshot the scene, still with the same kind of idea, but now we're just fighting each other to go commit suicide to get the Soul Stone. And that was I shot that not that long ago. It's only maybe 6 months ago, and it was a tough scene for both of us to shoot. Weird as all hell. Two people trying to hurt each other so they can go try to commit suicide. But
she was just trying to bring Clint back to his wife. She made a promise.
Yeah. I can't talk about that. Sorry.
Yep, I'm
With
taking an
against yourself?
elevator. Renner's gonna say you and ScarJo. That was fucking.
I like the Hulk and Thor.
Language.
There's a child right here. Right there.
I'm out this bitch.
This is insane. I can't believe that happened.
I think you just made them leave. It's just you, Chris.
How do you think Cap lived his life with Peggy, like knowing everything that's gonna happen in the future? Like, do you think he saved Bucky or like the Caps that's still in Knives?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question.
That's one of those things where that's a good question, and there's probably a lot of answers.
Our answer was so amazing between
Ours
me and
was
Don.
so much better than anything that he's gonna say.
You should just
So
ask
much
Don
we
and Jeremy.
can't tell you though.
I want to answer that.
Would you, if she asked it on Twitter, would you answer it on Twitter later?
Yeah, sure, maybe.
There we go. All right, cool. Cool.
Maybe.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Maybe.
America's ass.
Yeah.
All I really said was, how can I show off my ass?
Yeah.
That was it.
At the premiere.
You wrote
at
that
the
line.
premiere when you
Yeah.
had no clothes on.
So, while we missed Hawkeye in Infinity War a little bit.
No, I was smart. I didn't turn to ashes. I was hanging out.
Hawkeye
bad
was just
man.
leaving
He's a bad man.
bodies. He's just scary.
They were bad people. And I was pissed off, I guess, They only saw for a minute. It's literally like for 2 minutes of the movie. And then I had to go do something else.
Save the world?
No, just, I don't know what I was doing, but
Something.
I think was I just supposed to try to kill myself on the movie and then Scarlett got in the way, I saw it that once that night. It wrecked me.
I've seen it once.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. So we had our first Avengers Endgame Marvel Phase 4 Comic-Con panel. It's the middle of convention season. Obviously the next big one is going to be Comic-Con later and then D23 after that. So in addition to the really cool stuff and deleted scenes that they talked about during this panel, which I'll break down in a second, they're also going to be revealing the Marvel Phase 4 schedule, or at least some of it during Comic-Con in a couple weeks. And then after that in D23, we'll learn about even more of that. I'll be doing videos for everything, so be sure to subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. We're doing a new round of the IMAX ticket giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave an Avengers or Spider-Man comment on the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. Love those Captain America F-bombs. Just drops one, then immediately realizes that he's sitting in front of a crowd of children. Don Cheadle can't believe it, just walks right off a stage. One of the other really cool reveals here too is that Chris Evans is like, yeah, I'm definitely coming back outside the role of Captain America. That's just the teasers that the Russos were dropping before Avengers Endgame come out. Like, Chris Evans isn't quite done with Marvel, even if Captain America is a really old man right now. So just breaking this down in order, Chris Evans talked about how he turned down the role of Captain America twice before he accepted and signed his first contract with Marvel Studios. That was before they started making the first Captain America movie. He spends a couple minutes making fun of those other two. They're all really good friends. They're like a family in real life now. Like the Avengers are a family within the context of the movies, but the actors have become a family in the last 10 years. So when he says he's coming back to Marvel to do stuff beyond the role of Captain America, he's mostly talking about the Marvel Phase 4 stuff, directing and doing stuff behind the camera. Because while most people know him for the roles that he's played, he's also been a director for a long time too, working on really small indie movies between the really big Marvel movies that he's been doing the last 10 years. They haven't said exactly which project he'll be working on, but I expect it has something to do with those Avengers spin-off TV series they're doing for the Disney Plus streaming service, so we'll probably learn more about that by the time we get to D23 in August. That's about the month after Comic-Con. The other really big reveal is Hawkeye talking about this giant extended sequence that they completely changed on Vormir. Just this really huge deleted scene where Thanos was originally supposed to come attack them when they came to get the Soul Stone. I'm assuming it was the version of Thanos from 2014 because they were all there in 2014 with Nebula and War Machine while they were getting the Power Stone. Then Black Widow and Hawkeye just literally took off in the Guardian ship and flew through space to Vormir. They didn't travel through time when they went to Vormir because they were already before Thanos came in 2018 to get the Soul Stone. That's all they needed to do, and because they were in 2014 already, they beat him by about 4 years. The battle that he describes is Thanos coming down with the Outriders because he talks about really weird villains that he didn't know about, and he knew about the Black Order, so I'm assuming it was not the Black Order that came to Vormir with Thanos in the original version of events. But if you remember, the other part of the deleted scene that he talks about was when Hawkeye was trying to kill himself to sacrifice himself for the Soul Stone because his family was dead. It was his inspiration for becoming Ronin, why he went so hardcore. He was just ready to die himself. He was doing everything he could to try and throw himself on his sword without doing it literally until the opportunity presented itself when they got to Vormir and learned what it took to obtain the Soul Stone. Oh, okay, I've been trying to do this for the last couple of years since I lost my family. For whatever reason, like Jeremy Renner says, late in the game, they changed that scene and it wound up being Black Widow to sacrifice herself. I think it probably would have been better if Hawkeye would have sacrificed himself, and they do a Disney Plus Hawkeye series where he trains Kate Bishop after the events of the snap. Then, when she learns after Avengers Endgame that Hawkeye died on Vormir, she takes the mantle of Hawkeye and joins the Young Avengers during Marvel Phase 4. Right now, the Black Widow movie seems like it's taking place after the events of Captain America Civil War, but before the events of Avengers Infinity War and the Snap. That'll be part of Marvel's big Comic-Con Hall H panel. They actually have footage of the Black Widow movie that they can show off in Hall H in a couple weeks. I thought it was kind of funny that Don Cheadle said that he didn't know Iron Man was supposed to die at the end. You know that they don't tell Tom Holland things, they don't give him scripts. He thought that they were there for a wedding when they were doing the funeral scene, but it's interesting to know that they don't tell the older, more mature actors as well, who aren't known for giving away big spoilers. You think it'd be safe to give War Machine that information, but I don't think they give anybody any scripts there, and even Gwyneth Paltrow isn't sure which Marvel movie she's been in. She just goes to set, she films the scenes. There was that funny clip the other day where she forgot that she was in Spider-Man Homecoming and Jon Favreau had to remind her, no, you remember, that was for that first Spider-Man movie.
We were actually doing it when we were filming Spider-Man. That was the first time. We just brought a film crew with us down to Atlanta, and we cooked at the Optimist. And we had dinner. Well, yeah, we were in Spider-Man together. Remember we were on Spider-Man?
We weren't in Spider-Man.
Yes, we were.
Homecoming.
You were in Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah.
I was in Avengers.
No, you were in Spider-Man also. It's become. Remember Spider-Man at the end, and Tom Holland's there, and you're going to walk out and do a press conference. And I give you the ring.
Yes.
That was Spider-Man.
That was Spider-Man? Oh my God.
But they've been announcing a bunch of big Comic-Con plans for the next couple of weeks, so it's taking place the third week in July like it normally does. They'll do the big Phase 4 previews, but there's also going to be a bunch of other Marvel Hall H Comic-Con panels. The Russos are doing their own Hall H panel separately, and the writers of Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War are also doing a separate panel in Hall H by themselves too. Sony and DC are the two big studios that aren't going, so there's not going to be any really big Spider-Man stuff going on outside of the Marvel Hall H Comic-Con panel. Maybe if they have Spider-Man 3 to announce, they'll do it during that. But the only really big previews and footage I expect them to show off will be for the Black Widow movie. They'll probably announce the Eternals movie, Shang-Chi, because they're getting ready to cast those movies right now and shoot them later. They're shooting Black Widow right now, though, and maybe outside chance that they announce that they're developing a Fantastic Four movie. They will save some of their secrets for the Marvel D23 panel, which is about a month later in August, but I'll also do a separate video for that for any big trailers that they show off, so no worries. There's a bunch of stuff happening this week. They just dropped a huge preview and a teaser for The Witcher Netflix series. I'll try to get to that as fast as possible. I have a really cool Shazam Black Adam deleted scene. I'll post that probably next tonight. Then my Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scene and Easter eggs will start posting tomorrow. There's so much stuff that they set up for Marvel Phase 4 at the end of that. Be sure to go see the movie as soon as possible. Congratulations to Logan Sullivan, you're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Click here for that brand new Avengers Endgame post-credit scene for the Hulk, and click here for that Avengers Endgame post-credit scene for Spider-Man. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.